Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another video about our Arduino kit. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to create a light bulb that gets brighter or dimmer based on its surroundings. So I'm going to start with the hardware component. As you can see in the top right of your screen, I have a wiring diagram there. And that's going to go ahead and tell us how we need to wire our photoresistor up. It's pretty much just a light sensor. So I'm going to go ahead and follow the diagram. I'm going to go ahead and put my sensor in here. Make sure it's in there nice and snug. And the wires are going to bend the more you put them in and out. So make sure you're pushing straight down, because if the two ends touch, then it's just going to short and it's not going to give you a good reading. So you can see on the top of the diagram we have our 5 volts. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with this. We're going to plug it into our 5 volts, and then I'll just plug it into the bottom here. And then on the bottom of our wiring diagram, you're going to see a 10K ohm resistor. And then those 3 lines at the bottom of it just mean it's going into the ground. So instead of getting a ground wire to go from the ground to our resistor in photocell, I'm just going to put it into the ground bar, because remember that goes all the way up and down the board. And then I have this 10K ohm resistor, comes with your kit. And then I'm going to put that in the ground bar to the opposite side of our photocell. So not the one we put our positive in, but the other one. So we put the positive in the bottom here, and then we're putting our ground through our resistor into the top one here. And then it's our analog in, and it goes with on the other side of the photoresistor from this. So it goes from the positive through the photoresistor, and then it goes to our analog in, or it goes to our ground. And since it takes the path of least resistance, that's why we put our resistor in here, so it doesn't go back through the ground, and it goes through here, through this signal wire. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in, say, A5 over there. And it's an analog in, that's why it has to go in this side instead of this side. Alright, so now we're getting our light bulb. Remember, the long side is positive, so I'm going to put it in there. And then I know this side's positive because that's the longer one that went in. So I'm just going to choose one, why not pin 9? And then the other side of our light bulb here will go into the ground. Alright, so we're going to go over to our code now. I'm going to go ahead and take those resistors out of the way. And then we are going to go ahead and get our code working. So the first thing we're going to want to do is at the top, and put your name, so you know it's yours, and if anyone needs to use it, I'm sure they can change it, but you're getting your credit here. So next, we're going to define our pins, so hashtag, number, pound, whatever, it's that key, and then define, and then I'm going to do sensor, and then I chose that as A5, and then do define again, and then I'm going to do light, and I put that in pin 9. We're going to go to our void setup here, do our pin modes. And this time our sensor is an input pin, and then our light is an output pin. So now we're going to go down to our void loop. We're going to go ahead, and just to make sure we have our light wired correctly, we're going to do a quick digital write. And then go ahead and connect our board to our computer. And then I'll just choose that, and then it should turn our light on to full brightness. Okay, that's good. So now I'm just going to do that low for now, just so I'm not getting blinded over here. I'm sure you don't want to get blinded either. So when we get our data from our sensor, we're going to want to show it somewhere. So I'm going to show you this tool. It's called a serial monitor. Just go to Tools and Serial Monitor. And then you're going to have to tell it to do something. But in order to get it set up, you're going to have to put a special command or a line of code into the setup. So it's going to be serial.begin. And then 9600. I'm not sure why it's 9600, but that's just what we used when I did this in my college class. So that's what's going to work. So in order to show something on our serial monitor, we're going to do serial.print, and then we'll just put a number, something in there. But I'm going to go ahead and verify, and it's not going to work. I don't think. It did work. Okay, well, if I put something like I, it is not going to work. Putting a number in there probably works because it's a number, but you're going to need to do like a quote. That should work. But we'll go ahead and print I, and the quotes won't show up, but just go ahead and show you what happens. It's going to pop up with an error, but we're going to serial print, but I'm going to up here make an integer, so it's just int, and then I'll call it x, and then just do 0 for now. And then I can come up here and do x. Actually, I'll do x equals 1, just to show you. I'll go ahead, hit upload it to our board. And it comes up with a bunch of boxes, but you have to scroll. It's going to start spitting stuff out. And it's not going to stop. So what we have to do here is a serial print again. But this time, we're going to put in a special thing. So it's going to be a /n. And now, if you can hit the X here on the serial monitor, and you can still go up here to Tools and do that, and then it's just going to keep on going. And then I'm going to re-upload it with our new line of code. And then it's just going to keep going down now. So that just puts it on a new line. And if we scroll all the way back up to the top, you can see very briefly that it still went all the way across. So you can just hit your X there. go to your tools, serial monitor, or you can just do Control-Shift-M, and then it's just going to keep going. So now we want to read our data from our sensor. So we have to do an analog read. And then just sensor. And then that's going to read it, but we're going to use it in more than one spot, so I'm going to set that as our variable x. And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Go ahead and upload it. Open our serial monitor. And then it's going to give us our light data. But I'm going to go ahead and put a delay in here. That way we can actually read it. So I'm going to put that there. I'm just doing Control-Shift-M to get rid of and redo the serial monitor. Sometimes it's a little picky. I need to redo it. Maybe re-upload it. It's just kind of picky sometimes. Well, now it just doesn't like my Arduino board. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm gonna unplug it, plug it back in. Go ahead and re-upload it. There we go. Go back to our serial monitor. And then that's just those boxes, just kind of some weird stuff it does getting it initialized. Then you can see the light level in the room I'm in right now is 286, 285. But I have a flashlight, so I'm going to go ahead and shine the flashlight. If my flashlight decides to work. Maybe my flashlight won't decide to work. Oh, now it's making this really awkward because it was working a couple seconds ago. Well, that's not working, so I'm using my phone as my microphone. But I will go ahead and turn my flashlight on. And then you're going to see it's going to jump from 280s all the way up to the 700s. And then as I move away, it's going to get dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. Well, not dimmer, but the value is going to go down. Right, so we can see the base in the room below is going to get about 280. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my flashlight on. The brightest I'm going to get is probably 960. Okay, so I'm just going to do some quick math down here. So about 200 to 1000. So we know our analog rate can only go from 0 to 255. So we can probably just get away with just dividing our value by 4. About. So I'm going to set up another integer here. Y equals just 1 again. Because as soon as it, once it runs through this again, it's going to, if I tell it something like this, it's going to rewrite Y. So it's not going to matter what I initially put it as. Y equals X divided by 4. That should give us about a good range, I think. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that serial monitor there. And then I'm just going to go ahead, copy and paste this down below. But instead of X, I'm going to put Y here, just so we can kind of see it stays between Oh, I forgot my semicolons. Don't forget your semicolons. So it's just going to kind of tell us what our analog rate value will be. Right, so you can see 287, and then it's going down to like 70s. So the 70 is going to be our Y value, most likely. And then I'm going to turn on my flashlight. And that's like the brightest it's going to get. And it's reaching about 240s. Right, so the last thing we are going to need to do is to do our analog right. Then we named it light. And then we're doing our Y value. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and upload that. Go ahead and reset our serial monitor. And you can see as it gets brighter, our light gets brighter. But why would we need to do that? We wouldn't need to do that. So what we're going to do, I mean that's a good value. But first thing, I'm going to get rid of this delay here. But I'm going to do 255 minus that value. That way, when our sensor gets a really high value, it's going to do 255 minus, say 250. That's going to be give the light a really low value when this is higher. Then I got rid of that delay. That way, our light is updating constantly. Our serial monitor is going to be going berserk, but that's the trade-off you're going to make. You're going to see it's going like crazy here. You can see. I'm going to go ahead and turn my flashlight on. And you see it's getting dimmer as my flashlight's near it. And as I go away, it gets brighter. So that is how it's going to work. And I would call that a nice big success. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the serial monitor. And you could get rid of these lines of code, because we're not really going to use them. It's just for showing. But I'm just going to keep them here. I'll put them down at the end. Good Control X, and then go down here. Control V. That didn't work, but we don't need it anyway, because it's going way too fast for us to read. So I'm going to recap the code. We're defining our sensors and lights to our certain pins on our Arduino board. We're doing our pin mode. We're getting our serial monitor set up, which we don't really need that anymore because we're not using our serial monitor. But you can just do print something. I think we just had X. I think that was right. Go ahead and re-upload that. Oh, I probably just made a typo doing that one thing. I don't. It's being weird again. It does this every once in a while. Not quite sure why. I don't know. Because it likes being weird, I guess. I don't really know. Get our serial monitor. And you can see that is, I mean, that's not like an actual like unit. That's just what our sensor is giving it back to us. So it's not like lumens or whatever the unit of light is. But it's still doing something, so Now we need this. If we were to get rid of this, that would not work. So we defined some integers, variables we used, and then we did what our sensor is getting and made it into one of our variables. We did some math and we got a value to send to the light, and then we sent that value to the light. Right, so we got our resistors here, we got our photocell, photosensor, light sensor thing, and we got our light bulb. A fairly simple setup, and I hope to see you guys next time in the next video.